When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world. When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey.
Good evening, or good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of the Make We Talk program. We're tracking Hurricane Beryl. We're tracking Hurricane Beryl as we speak. Just want to give everybody some update. I think there is a news conference going on in Barbados right now. There is a news conference going on in Barbados. I presume. No. There is an update we're going to give to you all right now, as Hurricane Beryl is now a Category 4 hurricane. Hurricane Beryl is now a Category 4 hurricane. One moment, please. This is Make We Talk breaking news. Hurricane Beryl is now a Category 4 hurricane. It is moving towards Barbados. Hurricane Beryl is now a Category 4 hurricane. They said it is a very intensified, dangerous hurricane. It's a very dangerous hurricane. It is raining over here in South Florida. We lost power a short while ago, but it's back up. I'm going to make you all listen to what is going on. I'm going to ask people to call in and tell us. I hope people from Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and wherever, I hope you all are listening, and I hope you all are taking heed. My Jamaican people, I cannot stress this no more. This is a very dangerous hurricane. That's what the National Hurricane Center is saying. It is a very dangerous hurricane, and people must take this seriously. I want you all to listen to what the Hurricane Center is saying in Miami. One moment for me, please. Let me go over here and try and get it up. I know they're having some because of the weather. Some of because of the weather, some of the internet system are going in and out. Here you have it.
Coming days, as we're going to see another more concentrated plume of that dust making its way across the Atlantic Ocean in the coming days. But of course, here across Southeast Texas, just very hot and humid, highs in the upper 90s, lows in the 80s. We're going to see very humid conditions, and that's going to cause those heat indices to be in the triple digits. feeling as hot as 108 to 111. We are expecting the chance for an isolated shower or two each and every afternoon. So some of us might get a cool down here and there, but not everybody's going to receive rain. We're going to have a little bit more of a rain chance for Wednesday as that high pressure system starts moving off towards the east. But the 4th of July looking at a high of 97 degrees with feels like temps in the triple digits. Good Sunday morning. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez. Here is the latest update on Hurricane Beryl. We're having an active tropics. It is now a Category 4 hurricane with winds at 130 miles an hour. It is moving west at 21 miles an hour. This is the earliest calendar year of a Category 4 storm on record. So a record-breaking hurricane that we're dealing with right now that's approaching the Caribbean. As we take a closer look, we're able to see that distinct a perfectly symmetrical hurricane, just indicating that this storm is extremely strong and powerful as it's making its way across it towards the Windward Islands. So folks that are in Barbados might be seeing the impacts of a Category 4 hurricane as they've already issued hurricane warnings for those islands in the next possibly 12 to 24 hours. So as we look at the latest forecasted track for this storm, it is expected to briefly weaken back into the Category 3 storm, just making its way south of Jamaica, south of Puerto Rico. But weather models and, of course, the latest forecast track from the National Hurricane Center has this making landfall as a hurricane in the Yucatan Peninsula. So what happens after that is very uncertain. There's the question on whether or not this storm is going to make its way across the Yucatan in the Bay of Campeche or southern Gulf of Mexico. Some weather models are indicating that could be a possibility, but it's still far too uncertain at the moment. And we'll get a better understanding with that as we progress through the middle of the week, because we're dealing with a high pressure system over the south central U.S. that really is keeping this storm southward. So as we look at the latest spaghetti model plots, they are in good agreement that this storm is going to be making its way into Central America, southern Mexico in the coming days. But we are expecting some of these models. I know you're able to see some of those models taking it into the Gulf of Mexico. But a lot of times we have this Saharan dust, we have this high pressure system. So a lot of factors involved on what's going to be happening after it makes its impact across the Yucatan. So something to keep an eye on in the coming days, especially if you have any vacation plans in the Caribbean. The latest on the tropics, there is still another areas of concern. There's the disturbance in the southern Bay of Campeche. This only has a 50% chance of development within the next 2 days. Also, Beryl's just north of South America. You see that spinning right there. We are seeing another tropical wave moving off the coast of Africa that has now a 70% chance of development in the coming days. So very active tropics. We're dealing with some record-breaking storm, but we're also dealing with some Saharan dust. And what usually happens, this Saharan dust plays a role at weakening tropical systems. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all comes into play in the coming days, as we're going to see another more concentrated plume of that dust making its way across the Atlantic Ocean in the coming days. But of course here...
There you have it. There you have it of what is going on in the tropics. Hurricane Beryl is now a Category 4 hurricane. It is now a Category 4 hurricane. There was a press conference in Barbados a short while ago. We're trying to get the feed from that press conference to play it on our channel here to hear what Prime Minister of Barbados, Mayor Motley, and also members of her disaster preparedness team, what is going on in Barbados. We're also going to try and get some feed out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for all of us to see what is going on in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because they are our sister and brothers, and our prayers and thoughts are to the people of the Caribbean, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the people of Barbados, the people of St. Lucia, and indeed my fellow Jamaican citizens who are in Jamaica. As I said, it's expected to pass south of Jamaica. The outer band of this system here, it's a very intensified system, and it is a dangerous system. For those who are just joining us, we're going to go back over to the live feed we're getting out of the National Hurricane Center in Miami about Hurricane Beryl. I want you all to see what is going on, and I want you all to call your friends and family in Jamaica and within the Caribbean. they must take this thing seriously. It is not something to play with. It is not something to play with. That's what they're saying. It's a very intensified hurricane. Andrea, how are you doing, my dear? Thank you for being on the program as usual. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Share this live feed because today, today's Sunday. Jeffrey don't really come on a Sunday. I really don't. I sort of left Sunday for my good friend Wayne Lonesome and also those who are coming on Waterhouse Vibes and so forth. But we have to come on to share this with you. We are going to see if we can get some more hold on for me. I think somebody sent me something here. We're going to see if we can get some more clippings and audio out of the National Hurricane Center in Miami. We want to come over here all the time and talk about politics. You see? I come over and talk about politics. We have to talk about other things that is affecting us. And hurricane is one of the major things that affect us. At least hurricane give us a warning. Earthquake don't give us any warning. Earthquake happen. So at least we're getting warning pertaining what is going on within the Caribbean and within the hurricane season that we're having here. So everyone, every single soul, it doesn't matter where you're from, we're going to see if we can get this feed because there was something coming off. There was something on the, hold on for me. I think I can get it from here. Let me figure out something here. Bear with me, please. I'm trying to get something that one of my good producers had sent something to me to see if we can get a press conference was happening in Barbados earlier on. Hold on. I think I'm having a feed with it here. Hold on for me. Okay. Okay. We may not get it from the start, but I'm going to see if I can get it all for you all to listen what is going on in Barbados. They are on the ball. They're on the ball trying to, not that one, this one here. Yes, an update on Hurricane Beryl out of our sister island, Barbados. The Barbados Disaster Management Committee is on the ball trying to see, to update their people on what is going on. So let us go over there and let us listen to what they're saying.
Scenes to ensure that we're prepared for what's to come. Hurricane Beryl is currently a Category 4 hurricane, and of course, that has significant implications. Thanks, of course, to Abby for carrying us through the first hour and a half of this live broadcast. I'm Wendy Chateau. I will be with you for the next hour and a half or so. At this point, we have with us two doctors. We have Dr. Kimond Cummins, who's the Chief Veterinary Officer, and Dr. Sean Charles, the Chief Veterinary Officer.
Hold on for me, please, ladies and gentlemen.
We will start with Dr.
We're having
Cummins,
something else coming into us. Hold on to us, please.
Welcome, Dr. Cummins, first of all.
Okay.
Hurricane Beryl was located at 10.9 degrees north, 55.6 degrees west, which is approximately 421 miles east-southeast of Grenada. Its maximum sustained winds is now 130 miles per hour, which makes Hurricane Beryl a strong Category 4 hurricane. It currently moves towards the west at 21 miles per hour, and its minimum central pressure is 960 millibars. As I said before, it is a dangerous Category 4 hurricane and is expected to cross the Windward Islands at the same strength as a Category 4 hurricane. If you look at your screen, you can see the path that Beryl is expected to take closer to Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and its width is expected to cover the entire state of Grenada. Hurricane warning remains in effect for Grenada, which means that hurricane conditions are expected within the warning area within the next 36 hours. For the hazards, we are expecting winds of 130 miles per hour with higher gusts close to the eye wall and around that area is expected for Grenada. Rainfall of 3 to 6 inches across the Windward Islands through Monday is expected with localized maxima of 10 inches. And storm surge is also still expected with as much as 6 to 9 feet above the normal tide levels. I repeat that Hurricane Beryl is now a Category 4 hurricane, and we remain under a hurricane warning at this time. Over to you.
Thank you. And my apologies. I believe it's Cassia Johnson. Thank you so much. And we now want to hear from Nadma, who continues to monitor the hurricane. And
we're going to go over to Trinidad and Tobago now. There is a news conference in Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to go over to Trinidad and Tobago. We're getting some news out of Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to go over to them now to update everyone what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago. Let us go over to Trinidad and Tobago to see what is going on over there. Bear with us, please. One moment, here we go. One moment.
Dates and so on from Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service. And be safe.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Decoto. So you were warned and asked and begged about a month ago to prepare for the hurricane season. We came when there were no hurricanes on the horizon to tell you, put your house in order. We reminded you again yesterday to organize yourself for the arrival of this hurricane, although at that time yesterday, it was not immediately clear that we will be in the direct path of the hurricane. Now you are hearing that we are in fact in the direct path of the hurricane. The hurricane is south of where we exist at present, and based on information we have gotten on the storm, on this hurricane, the stronger winds are at the north of the hurricane. We are currently in the direct pathway. I want you to appreciate that this is potentially the most violent storm to hit Tobago since Hurricane Flora hit Tobago directly, not indirectly, directly since Hurricane Flora in 1963. And I just want to share an observation with you. Hurricane Flora was a Category 3 hurricane, not a Category 4. A Category 3 hurricane. Hurricane Flora damaged or destroyed 83%, or 6,250 of the 7,500 homes on the island at that time. Hurricane Flora killed 18 Tobagonians. The loss of property and crop was estimated at the time at about $30 million US. About 75% of the trees forming the forest reserve actually fell, while most of the remainder were severely damaged. This is 1963. Now in 2024, today we are expecting a Category 4 hurricane. And in expecting this Category 4 hurricane, we must appreciate that if we are to have the impact today as Flora did in 1963, we will see the destruction of at least 18,000 homes of the 22,000 we have on island. And we will see the displacement of at least 52,000 people. That is if we are to parallel what happened during Hurricane Flora and today. But this is not a cause for panic, because we expect that today the quality of our homes are better built, better located, better positioned, that the emergency response and telecommunication that allowed us to warn you about a month ago and then yesterday, and you had an update earlier about an hour or two ago from Minister Alwari and team down in Trinidad. You have the benefit of information and technology and a lot more going to ensure we can preserve life and preserve property. Therefore, we are asking you to heed every single one of the warnings that we gave a month ago, that we gave yesterday, that came to you this morning, and all of the releases you have gotten from the National Met Services. It's important that you pay attention. It is critical that you don't waste time this afternoon frolicking. Get your house in order. You have to get your house in order. And we are expecting that by 12 a.m., meaning at midnight, as of midnight, we ought to expect this hurricane rather, to make landfall. The Met officer did not say it, but there is a possibility that by the time this hurricane makes landfall, it can arrive at a category 5. It is a category 4 at this point, and it has been developing rapidly. I can tell you that while we were speaking to you yesterday, we were projecting that at this point, we will be looking at a category 3 hurricane passing Tobago. Guess what? We are already at a category 4, and it has not yet arrived. That should tell you the scale and the magnitude of this thing that we are dealing with. We have met extensively with all stakeholders from across the entire island, and we are prepared. I want to turn our attention to Director Stewart, who will go through the levels of preparedness that we have, what's happening in terms of shelter and shelter management, what our response will be, so that you are reminded that we have systems in place to preserve life and limb firstly, and secondly, to also preserve our property. And we are bearing in mind that the island at this time has an inflated population, because we had a weekend with quite a number of visitors that came to party and to lime and to have fun. And we expect very much in the services that we provide that we take care of citizens, residents on island, visitors to the island, and the immigrant population. And we are also ensuring that we take care of our vulnerable population, those that are elderly, those that require sign language, those that are not mobile. They are also very much in our periphery, very much in our point of view. And so I turn your attention now to Director Stewart.
A very good afternoon to all. Wherever you may be hearing this broadcast, I think it is very important for us to really sit up and pay attention to whatever information that will be disseminated. It is important that as we speak about categories of hurricane and we speak about preparedness, what comes to mind immediately is when this preparation began. For us at TIMA, 2 years ago, embracing what is known as making cities resilient, we recognize the importance of inclusiveness, being adaptable, and leveraging and managing our resources to reduce disaster risk. The inspiration went to the angle where fate will have it that I remember communicating to the wider public that we need to prepare ourselves for what we experienced in 1993. And therefore, 2 years ago, we started what you call the CIRT 1,000 strong program with this in mind. Today, we are dealing with winds that can be in excess of 130 miles per hour. We are looking at an impact of an event of that magnitude that can be, the reality is that it will happen in the dark of night. And therefore, that being said, it poses a different type of a situation. I recall as a young man, my grandmother told me what galvanized sheets look like from a distance. They will look like leaves blowing to your direction. Not until they get close to you, then you realize it's a sheeting. This, ladies and gentlemen, is or will be what we will experience in terms of debris that will be tossed around. However, this will be happening to our dismay in the night. Our preparedness, however, lend itself to us taking certain steps. I commonly
We are going to break away from a live press conference over there in Trinidad and Tobago. And we're going to stay with Trinidad and Tobago, but we're going to do something else here on the Meteorological program. We're going to keep you all up to date on what is going on with this hurricane. We don't know if there will be a press conference out of Jamaica. I've been working my sources to find out if there will be a press conference. We don't know. But if there's going to be a press conference out of Kingston City, Jamaica, we will bring that to you live. But we're going to go over to another, what should I say, TV station that is bringing something to us pertaining to Hurricane Beryl. And we're going to bring it live to you now. Please bear with us as we do so. I am the only person here working at the moment. Let me see something here. Hold on for me. Here we go. Yes. Bear with us, please. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe.
We have your tropical update, and this is a really, really interesting morning. We saw Beryl go from a Cat 2 hurricane early this morning to a Cat 3, and now a Cat 4. Rapid intensification with Beryl this morning, and this is your update as we get into the early afternoon hours on Sunday. So we had Alberto, Beryl now a Cat 4. We're waiting to see if we get Chris and Debbie here in the coming days. There are 2 other areas that we're also watching, so I'll have updates on all of these. This is the one that we want to talk about, Beryl. And what I can tell you about the system, it is classic in its formation. It is a very symmetrical storm. There's convection all the way around it. You see a very clear, well-defined eye, pretty good-sized eye there. And this is a fairly small storm. Now, it's very powerful, a major hurricane, obviously Category 4, as I mentioned, but the hurricane force winds only extend out about 25 nautical miles from the center of this thing, and you go out 100 miles or so, and that's about the extent of the tropical storm force winds. So we've certainly seen much larger hurricanes move through the region, but down there they have a very small hurricane that is very, very powerful, and we're going to show you where that's going. In addition to Beryl, there is another area that we're watching, another area that will be investigated by the Hurricane Center. This is expected to follow on the heels of Beryl, and there's about a 70 or 80% chance this thing develops in the coming week. So very high chance for that, and I'll show you more there in a moment. Right now, the winds with Beryl up to 130 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds. They had a reconnaissance flight through there. They identified those more powerful winds. So they said, this isn't a Cat 3 anymore. They thought it was. They found those winds. They said, nope, it's now a Cat 4, still moving west at about 21 miles per hour. Now, the sustained winds are at 130. The maximum wind gusts estimated to be around 150 miles per hour. So a very powerful storm. You see these islands here. You've got Trinidad and Tobago. There's Grenada there. You have some of the other islands. Barbados. We'll take a look as this moves through this region. The Lesser Antilles, specifically the Windward Islands, those southern islands in that chain, bracing for not only a major hurricane, but a Category 4 hurricane as it moves across the islands early tomorrow. And I'll be covering that on 13 News Now at daybreak early tomorrow as that storm system rolls through that area. After that, it's expected to move through the Eastern Caribbean. It will continue moving west, maybe northwest. I will say the official track relative to what was out earlier this morning has shifted just a hair farther to the south. Still, the pass will come pretty close to Jamaica, and we'll have concerns there as this system moves along as a major hurricane, most likely impacting Jamaica during the day on Wednesday. But if that track continues to settle just a little farther south, that's good news for Hispaniola, good news for Puerto Rico, the northern islands there in the Lesser Antilles. And eventually, if it continues to shift a little farther south, that's good news for Jamaica. But as it goes farther south, and folks in Central America and over towards the Yucatan will brace for perhaps greater impacts. We'll see. You can see hurricane warnings and watches are up, tropical storm warnings. They know they're going to deal with the hurricane, these southern islands. So this is what they're all bracing for. You can see some watches farther to the north in Trinidad and Tobago right now under tropical storm watch. Again, this is a storm system that is going to come through, but it's a fairly tight system. And Trinidad and Tobago are going to be on the weaker side of the system. As it moves through, it'll be these areas off to the north, Barbados and St. Lucia, that'll be hit with some of those stronger winds if it moves on through. Remember, it's that right front quadrant. So we're going to be watching for that. Now, you see the forecast here with the spaghetti plots. There's such a good agreement that this is going to roll through, again, passing just south of Barbados. So Barbados is on the dirty side, St. Lucia on the dirty side. It's going to roll along again. Most of the models still carry it pretty much towards Jamaica. So folks there are certainly going to be watching this again. The timing on that most likely sometime Wednesday of next week. Where it goes after that, some of them starting to maybe break off a little bit and carry it into the Gulf of Mexico, maybe up towards Louisiana. Others, the majority of them carry it towards the Yucatan. So little split in the thinking they're longer range. It's still early. There's plenty of time to watch and see how things go. But this is something we're going to have to take very seriously. Obviously, we do, and we'll be watching this very, very closely. There's a ridge of high pressure that's going to help kind of steer this thing through the Caribbean, so we'll be watching for that. This next area, again, with a 70% chance for development, this is the next one that is forecast to follow the same track as Beryl, very close to it. And I wanted to show you the wave height. This is a model projection. You see these wave heights, pretty incredible, 30 to 35, even 40-foot waves in some cases out there in the open water, very close to the center of Beryl. Now, as it moves along, again, those waves on the right front quadrant going to be the most violent as it's moving along. You see them coming into the islands here. This is tomorrow morning, Monday morning. So that moves along. And I'm showing you this graphic because we have to watch that second potential system developing, and there you get a sense for where that next storm could be. So as Beryl moves through and again impacts the Caribbean, we'll be watching this next storm system as it could follow a very similar path, and we'll see where it goes after that. Really active time right now in the tropics. In addition to that, we've got another area in the Bay of Campeche, may or may not develop, 50% the chances from the Hurricane Center, but this is something too that could be a big rainmaker for the central Mexican coast there. We'll continue to watch that and keep you updated. Again, the big story this morning and now into the early afternoon, Beryl is a Category 4 hurricane, a powerful major hurricane with winds of 130 gusting to 150, taking aim on the Windward Islands. We'll continue to watch this and all of the tropics and keep you updated at 13 News Now.
There you have it. There you have it. Hurricane Beryl bearing down on the Caribbean. We're gonna see if we can get something out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There's a next news conference going on over in Barbados, and we're gonna go to that news conference now. Hold on for me. We're gonna go to that news conference now to hear what is going on in Barbados. Bear with us, please. We're trying to get the feed up to us here. We're gonna see if we can get this feed up to us. One moment for me. Okay. Media briefing from where? Chief Secretary, hold on for me. Okay. The Prime Minister of Grenada, Dustin Mitchell, is addressing the people of Grenada at the moment. Let me see if we can get a hold of this news conference and bring it to you also. One moment for me. Okay, here we go. One moment. Let me go over here and get this news conference coming into us. Because we have to make sure that we have everyone covered. As I said before, I do not know if the government of Jamaica will be having a press conference pertaining to what is going on. We don't know, but as soon as we can get through to someone to verify if they're going to be a press conference, I will go live with it on this channel here. Let us go over to what is going on in Grenada. One moment, here we go.
Once again. We continue to track Hurricane Beryl, and we have with us now the latest advisory as issued by the Hurricane Center in Miami. Last position, or current position at 11 a.m., 10.7 degrees north latitude, 54.9 degrees west longitude. Let me repeat that. 10.7 north, 54.9 west. Now that puts it about 408 miles to the southeast of Grenada. Beryl has intensified as was forecasted. So maximum sustained winds are now 120 miles an hour. Still moving westwards at 21 miles an hour. And the minimum pressure has fallen to 964 millibars. Now, this still means that Beryl is still a Category 3 system. And more strengthening is forecasted. It is forecasted that by the time Beryl reaches our longitude, she will become a Category 4 system with estimated winds of 140 miles an hour. We can also expect from Beryl significant rainfall. And rainfall, as we mentioned, same as we mentioned earlier, 100 millimeters of rainfall, and even in some areas, as much as 200 millimeters of rainfall during the passage time. Now, what is of some more concern to us is the extent to which we are now finding the hurricane force wind and tropical force winds. And Beryl is now extending hurricane force winds up to 30 miles from the center. Okay? So from the center, 30 miles out, we are experiencing hurricane force strength wind. Now, when we say hurricane force strength wind, we mean that winds greater than 75 miles an hour. Okay? So closer to the eye wall, we will have the 120 miles an hour wind speed. And tropical storm force winds now extend 115 miles from the center.
Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique.
At this time, I'd like to invite the Prime Minister, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, to give his presentation and remarks.
Thank you, Press Secretary. Good afternoon to the citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I greet you well. I trust that over the last several hours, you have been paying attention to the public information being put out by NADMA, and that you are taking the appropriate measures to secure yourself, your family, and your property. I want to start by reiterating the 11 a.m. briefing which Mr. Tamer has put out. The briefing indicates that Grenada is under hurricane warning. A hurricane warning is the highest threat level that is possible. It therefore means, in simple language, that Grenada is likely to be hit within the next 24 hours by Hurricane Beryl. As I said last night, this is not a drill. We need to be calm, we need to pray, but most importantly, we need to prepare. This morning, in driving around, I saw a number of persons engaging in open entertainment type activities, seemingly with no care in the world. By 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, we are expected to face significant rainfall, significant wind, and significant storm surge. So I want to urge all of us as citizens of Grenada that we use the next 6 hours to ensure that we prepare for the hurricane. It is not a storm anymore. It is a Category 3, likely to become a Category 4 hurricane. The models are indicating that, one, we are likely to have devastating wind damage on Monday, where the eye wall of Beryl will move over the Windward Islands. One of the models indicate that it is possible that the eye of the hurricane may pass over the island of Carriacou. If that happens, it means all of Grenada, PT Martinique, and Carriacou are going to be at the center of this hurricane. And so we need to take this seriously. 2, life-threatening storm surges are expected with water levels between 6 to 9 feet above normal tide levels in areas near onshore, should the hurricane make landfall in Grenada. It therefore means that persons who are living in low-lying areas prone to storm surge are required to evacuate this afternoon. As of midday, all the hurricane shelters throughout PT Martinique, Carriacou, and Grenada are open. All of the shelter managers are in place. All of the district coordinators and deputy district coordinators have been mobilized. And so if there is a need for you to move, if you live in a low-lying area that is susceptible to storm surge, we urge you now, in the next 6 hours, to move to higher ground, move to family members who may live on higher ground, or move to a shelter that is nearest to you. The list of shelters are out. They've been circulated on social media. They've been circulated by the members of the media, thankfully. And so we ask you to familiarize yourself with the shelter that is closest to you. Rainfall. It is expected that up to 75 to 150 millimeters of rainfall may occur as a result of this. Mr. Tamer last night indicated that 100 millimeters of rainfall is the equivalent to rainfall that we received for the last 3 months in 24 hours. The model is predicting that we may get as much as 150 millimeters of rainfall. It therefore means that we may have significant precipitation and significant flooding. It is therefore important, again, that if you live in an area that is flood prone, that you evacuate, that you move to higher ground, move to family members who may have access to an area that does not flood, or if you have no other option, to please move into a shelter. It is not too early to move into shelters. We expect that the most severe weather will occur tonight, into the morning, and into the daytime tomorrow. It will be very difficult to move to a shelter while the storm is passing over Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And therefore, if you live in an area that is flood prone, if you live in an area that is susceptible to storm surges, we will urge you now to use the opportunity to move either into a shelter or to move into family members' homes who do not reside in those areas. In light of the 11 a.m. forecast and the likely impact of the storm potentially directly impacting Grenada, the Governor General will declare a state of emergency effective at 7 p.m. this evening. This state of emergency will last for initially 7 days unless earlier revoked. I'm going to repeat. In light of the 11 a.m. bulletin, issued from the Hurricane Center and the Meteorology Office in Grenada, and the likely impacts from the storm, we, via the Governor General, are declaring a state of emergency that will commence at 7 p.m. this evening. It will last for 7 days initially, unless earlier revoked. It will be earlier revoked if we do not get a direct impact from the storm or if the damages are minimal. But in the meantime, we have no choice but to take all the necessary precautions. It therefore means, citizens of Grenada, that we should use the next 6 to 7 hours to prepare for riding out the storm. If you need to get groceries, you have the next 7 hours to do so. If you need to fill up on water, you have the next 7 hours to do so. Except for security forces, the police, prison officers, essential services workers, and other emergency personnel, after 7 p.m., no one will be expected to be on the roadways, and no one will be expected to be outside of their homes or a shelter, as the case may be. This is necessary to safeguard your life, to safeguard your limb, to safeguard our collective property and security. Electricity. GRENEC will keep the power on as long as it can without endangering the lives of the citizens. So there is no set time for the disconnection of electricity. It will remain on as long as possible, because we appreciate that in a situation where people are being hunkered down, we want to make you as comfortable as possible. And so electricity will only be disconnected if it becomes necessary in the interest of safety to do so. Since last night, NOASA indicated that water will be taken at 9 p.m. tonight. So again, citizens, water is perhaps the most essential ingredient during times of natural disasters. And so it is vital that we stock up as much as possible on water. Now, we have until 9 p.m. It will be cut at 9 p.m. because of the likely turbidity that will come from the heavy rainfall, and in an attempt to protect the external plant of NOASA, the water will be cut. All police officers, as of 9 a.m., have been asked to return to work, and all leave have been cancelled. The same applies to all prison officers. The prison management, in conjunction with the Royal Grenada Police Force, is working to make sure that as much as possible, we can properly secure the prisoners and secure the infrastructure at the prison. And the Royal Grenada Police Force will work with the prison management to provide the necessary support that is required in relation to ensuring that we take all necessary measures to safeguard the prisoners, as well as to safeguard the prison officers who will be required to work at the prison during this difficult time. 10 police officers were assigned to the RSS to assist with the just concluded ICC T20 tournament. We have asked that they be returned to Grenada, and the RSS is currently working on making sure that they get back here as soon as possible to assist us with the necessary measures. All of the various sector groups which make up the National Emergency Advisory Council have activated the hurricane plans, both the private sector and the public sector. And so we expect all of them over the next several hours to continue to brief their members, to continue to encourage them and to support them to make sure that they in fact activate and implement the hurricane plans. This is a time, naturally, that we all need to band together, that we all need to support each other, and we all need to ensure that we act in our collective best interests. We do not control the storm. We do not control the direction it will take. We do not control the force of its winds or the amount of rainfall that it will bring. What we do have control over is how well we prepare, both before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm. As the Prime Minister of this country, I wish to advise you that the Cabinet met at 11 a.m. in an emergency Cabinet meeting. The Cabinet and the Government of Grenada will give full support to all of the sectors that are required to make sure that during this difficult period, that we stay safe, that we stay secure, and that we come out of this episode stronger and more united. The CARICOM meeting, which was scheduled to be held in Grenada this week, has been cancelled. My colleagues and I within the region are in regular contact. As you may be aware, St. Vincent, like Grenada, is on the hurricane warning. And so we are continuing to communicate with all of the regional bodies throughout the region to make sure that we provide the necessary support, that we provide the necessary communication that is required to make sure that all of us can help each other at this difficult time. So again, I want to conclude by asking us to remain prayerful, to prepare, to take this seriously, and to make sure that we do everything that we can to protect our lives, to protect our limbs, and to protect our property. We will continue to provide information as much as possible in a timely manner.
There you have it, the Prime Minister of Grenada, Duncan Mitchell, speaking to the people of Grenada. We're going to have on the line pretty soon a well-known journalist out of Jamaica, Conrad O'Brien from New Salt 93 FM. He's going to come on the program here and speak to us about what's going on in Jamaica. But as I said before, I am not aware of any press conference given by the Prime Minister of Jamaica. But as if there will be a press conference this evening, tomorrow, or when, I will definitely figure out how I can bring it to you live. But at the moment, there's not a press conference scheduled for the Prime Minister of Jamaica to speak to the nation and to the members of the Jamaican diaspora. There you have it. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of my friend out of Jamaica from New Salt 93 FM, Conrad O'Brien. But as I said before, you had two news conferences, one from three, one from Barbados, one from Trinidad and Tobago, and one from Grenada with Duncan Mitchell. He is the Prime Minister of Grenada. Let me see if I can get a hold of Mr. Conrad O'Brien now. Bear with us, please. Good afternoon, Conrad O'Brien. Welcome to the Meco Talk program. We're live.
Hi, Jeffrey. How are you doing? Good afternoon to you. Yes?
I'm good, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon to you and your listeners, your viewers across the world.
Indeed, my friend. Conrad O'Brien, we're faced with a very dangerous hurricane heading towards the Caribbean. A category 4 rather hurricane. We just have press conferences out of Grenada, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago. Are you aware of any news conference going on in Jamaica?
No, I'm not aware of any news conference in Jamaica addressing the matter. But what I'll say to you, well, first of all, let me say my prayers are in vogue for those persons in the Eastern Caribbean and there, because indeed it seems as if, based on the trajectory that we're getting from the Met offices across the world, to include the United States and so on, and right here in Jamaica, it seems as if there could be a direct hit on a number of the countries in that part of the world. However, as it relates to Jamaica, there seems to be quite a bit of conversation going on around the hurricane, the category 4 hurricane that could come our way. The Met Office, through the point man, Mr. Evan Thompson, who operates out of the ministry that the Prime Minister is in charge of, the Ministry of Job Creation and so on, that very cumbersome ministry there. He has been giving us some updates, and indeed, what's the latest that we heard from him is that Jamaica has about 3 days some lead time for us to see the direct trajectory that they are painted. However, we are promised to get an update tomorrow to give us further and better particular. But to be clear, our Prime Minister Andrew Holness, he spoke about the situation, not in a press conference as we get from the other, but he spoke about the possibility of the hurricane coming towards us, and he urged the population, the citizenry, to get our house in order in terms of, if there's any trees that are close to our houses and so on and so forth, we should prune them. He also talked about us getting food supply and so on and so forth. However, one of the big things that a lot of people are concerned about right here in Jamaica, Jeffrey, as you know, the financial aspect of things continue to hurt a lot of people. So people are really at their wits' end, especially those at the bottom of the pyramid. So when that bulletin came from the Prime Minister, one of the things that people were saying, but Prime Minister, we need to get this and that, but we don't have no money. So I can well imagine that the diaspora will once again call on to help out the people here in Jamaica, and especially those of us who have families across the diaspora. Of course, their phone will be ringing, they will be getting text messages and so on and so forth to see how best they can assist their relatives here in Jamaica. But to say there's no preparation, no bulletin, it would not be true. We also heard from the Minister of Local Government, Desmond McKenzie, who talked about the readiness of the shelter. He talked about how many are in each parish and so on. And I think he said, when I heard him last week, he said they were at about 75% readiness and so on. Don't quote me there. I think he said 75% or so readiness. So all in all, I don't think the government is sitting down on its laurels and not doing anything. And the GIS program that broadcasts and all the mainstream media here in Jamaica, they have been carrying the bulletin and advising the population as to what to do. There's also the discussion that's coming through, not just here in Jamaica, but across the globe, as to the early nature of this one, because certainly we have not seen a hurricane develop this early in the season. So it seems as if this season would be a very, very active one. And the projection that we were getting from the various weather branches could hold true.
Yes. But Conrad, you touched on a very important point a while ago, where Jamaicans are saying that where don't get the money from. A lot of people that you and I know, are facing financial strain, and how are they going to be helped? How are they going to be helped rather when somebody's coming to us?
Absolutely, Jeffrey. Not to take tail out of school or anything, and I'm not saying this in any. I'm saying this quite. As a matter of fact, it kind of pains me to say, but I'll say it nonetheless. Sometimes, Jeffrey, just after finish broadcasting and so on, I will have 5-6 persons that I have to touch base along the corridor coming to my house just to palm them a little something here and there. Nothing big, because I'm not a wealthy man, but at least you can buy a tin of dirty girl, 1 pound of rice and whatever. And for those of our listeners who don't know that term, it's not disrespecting, but it's the tin mackerel. It's one of the name for it is dirty girl or tin boomer or something like that. So that's what I'm talking about. Our local listeners here, Jeffrey, and those Jamaicans who are in the diaspora know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yes, it's a very sweet thing, when you have some You cook it up with some nice touchman pepper and so forth, you know.
Oh,
It's
yes.
good. You don't eat it?
Yes. Huh?
You don't eat it?
No, yes, man. I eat it. I eat it, man. Of course. Sometimes, you put your scotch bonnet pepper, as you say, your onion, some tomato, and really jazz it up, as it were, and some people enjoy it with white rice. Some people enjoy it with a couple dumplings and so on. So it's a part of the menu here in Jamaica. A very popular part of the menu here in Jamaica, indeed.
But Conrad, when you look on this hurricane, a category 4 heading towards the Caribbean, and there is one named Chris and one named Debbie right after the other. The Caribbean and indeed South Florida is faced with some dangerous system coming towards us, man.
Absolutely. I heard Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves this morning, because he spoke to RJR Newsroom this morning, and he was saying that, of course, there's supposed to be a meeting in the Caribbean hosted by Dan Mitchell.
Yes,
and Dr. Dan Mitchell. Yeah, well, I didn't get the information that it was cancelled, but certainly he said that, he sent a message that based on the trajectory, he may be absent from the meeting. But I believe that based on what we're hearing, the forecast that's coming through, I don't know if you have heard officially that it has been cancelled, Jeffrey.
I heard from the Prime Minister of Grenada, Sir Mitchell, who just spoke a while ago at the live news conference that I brought on the platform here live, and he said that meeting is cancelled.
Okay, good. So it's cancelled, because I know that a number of heads they were sending in their messages that, listen, based on the information flow, they would not be able to attend. So I think it's the correct thing to do, to show solidarity for the entire Caribbean and cancel and just what happened. So back to Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. He's saying that, they are preparing for a number of roofs to be lifted and all of those sort of things. He talked about the shelter. He said that their shelter is in a readiness stage and so on, and they're doing their best to preserve lives, especially among the young and the elderly. Of course, those are normally the two most vulnerable group. Here in Jamaica, we have a lot of street people as well. They must be taken into consideration, in terms of the wider preparation that we'll be making. So all in all, I expect as we go further along, say tomorrow or certainly by Tuesday, based on the trajectory, if it continue on the same path, then we will have a emergency press conference and so on, headed by the Office of the Disaster Preparedness and indeed the Prime Minister, the local government minister et al. The PNP is meeting today at their NEC meeting, and I haven't gotten anything out of their NEC meeting as well, but I would expect that opposition leader and PNP party president Mark Golden to say a word or two on that, just to strengthen the voice and to advise the Jamaican people as to how we should proceed. And I from this platform, Jeffrey, and I'm sure that you would want to join in saying to the Jamaican people, heed the warning, because we don't want this hurricane to pass by, and at the end of the day, we're counting the bodies. It's better for us to try to rebuild the facility rather than to be burying people.
But you and I know, Conrad O'Brien, that some of the Jamaican people, because somebody put on my platform last night that the JLP government tell them that hurricane, what the name of it, was coming, and until now you don't see the hurricane. So the Jamaicans have a tendency of not listening to officials.
That is true, Jeffrey, and I tell you something, Jeffrey. Especially in recent time, the trust deficit has become so low that even when things are being said to the Jamaican people for their own good. They are running away so much from government that they're not taking it. But what I want to say to my brothers and sisters, that there are credible channels. The channels, the weather branches are there. It's not the JLP government, it's not Andrew Holder who is giving the forecast. A lot of times, the forecast given, and it's wrong. And what you find again, people really go borrow money, go get them partner draw and stack up their house with food. That also is a caution that we need to say to people. That listen, you don't have to be rushing and bum rushing the supermarkets or anything. All you need is a few things, non-perishable items, especially canned food and so on, things that can be preserved if you like go for a couple of days and all those sorts of things. You don't have to go and break the bank and use your lost savings to prepare for it. You get some bottled water and those sorts of things, the necessaries. We also urge people to ensure that you have your documents, tucked away in a plastic bag also, so those can be preserved. Because too many times, Jeffrey, people cried afterwards to say that they went out and they stock up this much and so on, and the hurricane, bypass us. Or certainly, we don't get much of it. But we have that is something that we have to be thankful for and give thanks to the Lord that we are spared from time to time. But preparation is always important, very, very important.
And I heard the Prime Minister during his little, I wouldn't say a press conference, he little talk to the Jamaican people, encouraging them, be very careful, take heed, and listen to your radio. He went as far and said to them that when it comes on to your local documents and so put them to a little Ziploc bag, make sure that everything is open and so forth. Somebody was saying in the chat here that maybe the Prime Minister should give some local food items to people who can't afford it.
That's a very good idea. That's a very good idea, Jeffrey. When they look in votes, when they look in votes, they vote and they have what they call care packages. Not really much, but at least they have a 2 pound of flour, 2 pound of rice, maybe a can or two of tin mackerel, a tissue, and so on and so forth, that little package. And it's a worthwhile advice, Jeffrey, people at the bottom of the pyramid could really and truly do with that. I know that you have some people within the political sphere that continue to do that, whether it is election or not. Don't blow their trumpet, but they do it. I know, for example, and I know I'll be accused to say, boy, I'm going to mention her because she is my friend, but truth. Zalika Jess down there in Centers, but she's always reaching out to her constituency, helping them in a quiet way. Nobody don't know because she's not one who want to go and take photographs for everything that she does, but she do it. We saw even at a lot of graduation that she's doing now. She has been offering cash prizes. I think one over the weekend, she offered $30,000 cash prize for the top student who is on pass. So she continues to do, and I'm sure that there are many that may be doing it. But I can identify her personal because I have a very, very close connection with her. My friend Valwind up in Northeast Manchester, he's another person that helps people on a daily basis as well, because the need is, sorry Jeffrey, the need is there, Listen, no make no ghost fool anybody turn you in an idiot, brethren. People at Jamaica have it hard, People want bickle, people want victual, people want little food. So I think, said Jeffrey, let us speak the truth, please the Lord and shame the devil.
But Conrad,
people want help. So when people call on their relatives overseas and say, send me 150, I want bills, 100, because they call $100 bills. And say, send me 1 bills. Jeffrey, is not that they want to beg and it's not that they're worthless. Even those who are working, Jeffrey, I remember recently, I don't remember if it was the last protest or it was the one before. And when you interviewed a lady, and the lady said to you that you asked her why she was out, and she said to you the reason she is out is because of her nephews, and so because she have to basically top them up with a little because their wages not sufficient for them to suffice themselves, and she don't want them to get in, you know, unsavory happenings or doings. So it's a genuine situation.
I remember the lady quite well. And before we go any further, Canada Brian, I want to say something to Juliet Jackson on my platform. Juliet, is what we need to do is listen to the National Hurricane Center in Miami. You know, you don't listen to the Prime Minister, listen to the National Hurricane Center in Miami. What they're saying to me is factual. They know what they're doing. Sometimes I get it wrong, sometimes I get it right. But listen to them. Because this thing is coming. It is not going anywhere. It is coming. And at least we have the privilege for someone to tell us that yes, it is coming. When it comes onto an earthquake, no matter the privilege somebody tells the earthquake is coming. You know? The earthquake come and that's it.
True. You know, so we it's not a local situation and say, boy, it is the government that doing this and doing that. In this case, I'm not prepared to I have to split justice. It's behove us to listen to the various weather channel, you know. As we speak right now, well, earlier CNN carried the information. They were talking about the meetings in the Caribbean here and so on and so forth, and giving the update, the most recent update. So all in all, we urge our people to be mindful. The important thing, Jeffrey, we can't overemphasize. Don't rock the bank. Don't use your life savings. You don't have to go use your doctor bill where you did not up somewhere. That in case you have a doctor bill, you can spend a little and get some necessaries. But you don't have to go empty Mr. Chin supermarket.
I just want to say, Conrad, because we don't have a moment to leave on the thing, and we're gonna go over to another update on Hurricane Beryl. But before we go, what's your take on the presidential debate here in the United States?
All right. Thanks for asking, Jeffrey. I must say that Joe R. Biden is someone that I personally have the greatest respect for. I think his record is really and truly stellar. And he has an excellent platform to run on, save and except some areas that I think he should move into quicker and so on and so forth. But all in all, when you look at his record, it's stellar. We all know that Joe Biden is 81-year-old, Donald Trump is 87. So we have two old men.
Donald Trump is 70-something.
No, man.
Yeah?
Donald Trump is 78, and right. Joe is 81.
Right.
So we all know that there are two old gentlemen that are running for president of the United States. But what we have an old man in Joe Biden with character. In Donald Trump, we have basically somebody who is who is guilty, found guilty on 34 charges and so on. And that in itself is an indictment and a disgrace on America, knowing that someone like that could even be offering himself. As it relates to what happened on Thursday, I was expecting a better performance from Joe Biden. However, as someone who participated in debate before, there is something that's called overload. And I think there was an overload in preparation with Joe Biden, because if you notice, each time he attempt to chronicle, to say, number one, so number two, number three. And he was really reaching back to his memory to put those things out. And at age 81, it's going to be a little bit of uphill task. I'm a much younger person and I have struggled from time to time. I don't believe that, one bad showing should show him out. If you see, we all watch what happened afterwards when he was out there at 2 a.m. in the morning and he basically delivered like a 50-year-old or 30-year-old man, and basically was out there. Also want to give kudos to his wife, Jill. What an awesome lady. I have so much admiration for her, Dr. Jill Biden. I want to commend her. And indeed, what we're seeing is as the day progresses, we're seeing more and more within the Democrat Party showing their full support behind Joe Biden. And I think he will be okay. It's hard for you to be on your feet for 90 minutes. And it must be noted that Donald Trump did not do well. Donald Trump told a lot of lies.
Yes.
A lot of lies and so on. And, I really and truly have no time whatsoever for Donald Trump. I made my visa maybe cancelled if he should get it, but I don't care. We have to call it as I said. So my ticket is still on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as a combination. I think that the American people, that decent middle ground there, will do the right thing. Donald will get that grouping that really was seeking a person of the ilk of Donald Trump all along. That underbelly was always there. What they do is find a leader to carry it with the racism, the nastiness, and so on. So they have a leader in Donald Trump. But the decent American people who went out the last time and said, no, we are not prepared to put our democracy at the altar of slaughtering it. And they did the right thing and ensure that Joe Biden became president. I expect them to do that, Jeffrey. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how Joe Biden emerge within the next few months or so, because certainly if what we saw on Thursday, if it means that there is medical issues and so on, then certainly the decision will have to be made from a medical standpoint. But I believe that because as the debate went on further, I think he delivered some telling blows. He hit some points, but when he tried to remember those things, he had an issue there. As I said, I believe it was overload. I think there was a little bit of over preparation there. He don't need that. Joe Biden is quite lucid, a man who knows policies and all those other things. Yeah. This over preparation, I think it was overkill for them within the Democratic Party.
Conrad, I want to tell you thanks for coming in. We got to swing back over to what's going on in Trinidad. There's another press conference going on in Trinidad. We got to swing back over to Trinidad pertaining to this hurricane. I want to tell you thanks for coming on.
All right, Jeffrey, I couldn't join you on set because I'm indisposed, but I will go back and listen and join you. Always a pleasure, my friend. God bless you.
God bless you too. That's Conrad O'Brien from News Talk 93 FM out of Kingston City, Jamaica. Tell us what's going on in the land of wood and water, and getting his views on the presidential debate a couple of days ago with Joseph R. Biden and Donald J. Trump. Let's go over to the press conference in Trinidad and Tobago. There's the next press conference going on pertaining to the hurricane that is threatening to the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Stand by for the news conference here on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. One moment, please. Here we go.
Example, Double B Enterprise or Bill Brown as we know them, they have just announced that they will be open from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. They'll be open till 6 p.m. Today. Stompies, they are going till 4:30 p.m. and hopefully they extend it a bit more. Candice Jackson.
Hi, good afternoon, Chief Secretary, and to the panel. My question is in regards to the statement that, this emergency, the hurricane is going to be exceeding the capacity of Tobago as well as its central government. And obviously, international help will be needed. But I'm also noting, remember, it's also going to be affecting the other islands. What's been a conversation like at even with Sedima and so on to ensure that Tobago does get some priority? Because I mean, we know that this is going to affect Grenada, St. Vincent, and these other islands in a pretty bad way as well.
Right, so the meetings have been held with SIDIMA in particular and other regional agencies. TIMA and Tobago House of Assembly have been represented in those meetings. And those meetings were essentially to get from us in Tobago what will be our needs list. Essentially, what will we need post the hurricane should this become a reality? So they do have that needs list from us, so that should the hurricane arrive here in the way that we are currently expecting and it does damage, they know exactly what we need and they are preparing channels to get those needs to the island as soon as possible. So that's the nature of the conversation. Literally to look at what Caribbean territories that will be impacted by this will need and ensuring that they begin to pull those things together so that at a moment's notice they can be delivered to the island for a response. The issue with this requiring a response beyond just Trinidad and Tobago is that usually, and I don't want you to report that we are getting ahead of ourselves. Usually, a disaster of this magnitude, the one that we are expecting, will dictate that we move from levels 1 and 2 response or tier 1 and 2 response to tier 3 response. And a tier 3 response will see CARICOM and international agencies get involved. We also had meetings with United Nations and their respective agency that treats with disaster preparedness.
We have another item of news just coming into us. We're going to break away from what is going on. We're going to break what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago. But news just reaching our newsroom. One moment for us, please. This is Make We Talk breaking news. Opposition leader Mark Jefferson Golden says he will renounce his citizenship of the United Kingdom following public call for him to do so. President of the People's National Party and opposition leader of Jamaica, Mark Jefferson Golden, has just said he will renounce his citizenship of the United Kingdom. That's news just coming into our news center. Opposition leader Mark Jefferson Golden said he will renounce his citizenship of the United Kingdom following public outcry for him to do so. That's news just coming into our news center. Mark Golden to renounce UK citizenship. This is Make We Talk breaking news. Opposition leader and president of the People's National Party, Mark Jefferson Golden, says he will renounce his citizenship of the United Kingdom following public outcry for him to do so. Mr. Golden just released that he will be renouncing his citizenship as a citizen of the United Kingdom. You know that there's a big public outcry, he being a UK citizen, and he is also opposition leader. He's next in line to become the Prime Minister of Jamaica. So the news that we have in here now is that Mark Jefferson Golden, I have to get back Canada Brian on the line here now to tell us his views on this. Let me get back Canada Brian to talk to us about Mark Golden renouncing his citizenship. But the news just coming into us that Mark Jefferson Golden. Conrad, welcome back to the program. News just reaching us that Mr. Golden has will renounce his citizenship as a UK citizen. Are you aware of that?
Indeed, Jeffrey. As a matter of fact, I was about to reach out to you back because I posted earlier, much earlier, that, you know, because there was a back and forth discussion going on, and I posted earlier that I believe that Mark Golden should renounce, and I mentioned that I am sure, very, very, as a matter of fact, I doubled down. I said, I'm very, very sure that he will renounce based on the discussion that I was privy to. And immediately after hanging up from you there, finished the discussion with you rather, it was sent to me that today at the NEC, party president and opposition leader Mark Jefferson Golden, the man Marky G, has basically made the decision that he will renounce his British citizenship. And indeed, the social media is in a frenzy at the moment, Jeffrey, because people are now saying that the one thing that Andrew Holness and the JLP wanted to hold on to, Mark has basically released that now. So where will they go? How will they pivot? So it's going to be very, very interesting, the release coming out of Belmont Road or out of Jamaica House from the Jamaica Labour Party.
So do you think that those within the government now will renounce their citizenship too?
Well, put it this way. We heard from Matthew Samuda that he was taking steps to renounce his. So it would be interesting to hear from the others. As a matter of fact, remember also, Jeffrey, that the question was asked of Mr. Henriquez, who is our MP in Clarendon, up in North Clarendon there. And indeed, that question was asked of him. Is he a Israeli citizen? Speaking from memory now, I don't recall reading or hearing that he had addressed that question anywhere. So I guess right now that the PNP should be doubling down on that. We also saw the nonsense coming from Attorney at Law Abe Dabdoob, where apparently, as them say, Abe just eat a food after the case because Abe is more sensible than that. How could you prefer a lawsuit or threaten a suit to anyone, in this case, Dayton Campbell and the patriot of the PNP, to say that you will be taking, as patriot or YO, I think it's YO, that you will be taking them to court to demand that they retract statement or they do whatever as it relates to Michelle Charles. Because they asked the question to say that, listen, we have not seen where you are American citizen, we have not seen anywhere where your documents have been shown that you have renounced your U.S. citizenship. So we are asking you to show those documents. And a lawyer that worth his salt take up that case, him just eat a food, brethren.
Well, let's see. If you're just joining us, if you're holding for me, so Conrad O'Brien, if you're just joining us, the news just coming into our news center. One moment for me, please. One moment. The news just coming to our news center here. This is Make We Talk breaking news. Opposition leader Mark Jefferson Golden and president of the People's National Party says he will be renouncing his citizenship of the United Kingdom following a public call for him to do so. Mark Jefferson Golden has just announced that he will be renouncing his United Kingdom citizenship. Online we have with us Conrad O'Brien from News Talk 93 FM. Conrad, you were saying that you pray and hope that other members of the Jamaica Labour Party who has been calling for Mr. Golden to do so, that they will indeed do so themselves.
Yes, Jeffrey. Indeed, I'm hoping so. And just to add to what you say, you just said a while ago in your breaking news, Jeffrey, and indeed you have been quite sharp and precise on that one. Crisp. I love that breaking news there. And there is also something coming to me here and saying, Golden, I would take the time to listen to the views, both internally and externally, in making an informed decision in regards to having British citizenship by descent. British citizenship by descent renounced. While not, and the story goes on a little bit jumbled here, but certainly the essence of that is Mark Golden, as you said, Jeffrey, has made good, because he, from the get-go, was saying that he had no blame in renouncing, once that's the direction of the Jamaican. And indeed, he would do anything to show his commitment for the Jamaican people. So no, I believe that Mark Golden has shown the method that he is made of. Remember that the Constitution of Jamaica gives Mark Golden right to hold a Commonwealth, in this case, British citizenship, to be Prime Minister of Jamaica. As a matter of fact, we can give it to you about verbatim. The Constitution don't even Jamaican citizen. It says,
Conrad, you're breaking up, Conrad. Conrad, you're breaking up big time. I don't know. You're from where you are?
No, I'm right here. Are you here to know?
A little bit better. Go ahead.
All right. I was saying, Jeffrey, that I don't know where you lost. I was saying that Mark Golden has basically showed the method that he's made up and showed his commitment for Jamaica. He will do anything to ensure that his commitment for Jamaica. And this one, the latest, is saying that he will renounce his British citizenship. I also went on to say that one must remember that he is in the right based on the Jamaican Constitution at this minute. And indeed, the Constitution don't even speak to a Jamaican citizen. It talks about a Commonwealth citizen attaining the age of 21 and ordinarily reside in Jamaica for 12 months or more. That is what the Constitution speaks to. So from the step to say, listen, I am going to go the full way and renounce. It's commendable and speak volume as to his commitment for the people of Jamaica. One would also remember, Jeffrey, that the practice points in terms of being very, very disingenuous, and indeed, his credibility came into question at that point, where he wanted to point the finger so much at Mark Golden that he was prepared to have every other member in the House having dual citizenship apart from the Prime Minister and the opposition leader, just to cast an assertion on Mark Golden. Marky G has heard.
Yes. I want to say thanks to Conor O'Brien for coming back on to let us know that his comment on the news that just came into us, that President of the People's National Party and opposition leader Mark Jefferson Golden has just announced that he will renounce his British citizenship due to public outcry. Mark Jefferson Golden has just announced that he will be renouncing his UK citizenship. Conor O'Brien, thank you for coming on.
Just before you leave me, Jeffrey, let me just read something here for you. This, I don't know if it's a current message or it's something that was out there on the thread, but certainly it is now causing a lot of ripple throughout the space, and it's something from Adam Stewart, that's the boss at Sanders hotel chain, and indeed the CEO there, Adam Stewart, is saying that months later, we have little or no infrastructure to speak of in our hospital. I remain perplexed. I remain perplexed as to why in a 100-year health crisis we continue to ignore this reality. I would have built 3 new resorts in this space in this same period. So he's talking about, obviously he is showing
Conor O'Brien, hold on for me. You're saying to me, one of Jamaica's dynasty in business, the son of the late Gordon Bush Stewart, Adam Stewart, who is now the CEO of Sandals Group and appliance traders, come out swinging against the Jamaican government by saying that the health sector is in a serious crisis.
Well, certainly, Jeffrey, based on this clip that we're seeing here that attributed to Adam Stewart, right? It is saying little to no additional infrastructure to speak of in our hospital. I remain perplexed as to why in a 100-year health crisis we continue to ignore this reality. I would have built 3 resorts in this space of time, and obviously he is taking as to how clumsily government is handling or has handled the crisis within the health sector. To show we have regional hospitals going almost 5 already extended in excess of $21 billion, and we have nothing to speak of in terms of 1 additional bed space in that hospital. So again, the son of Gordon Bush Stewart has delivered with a plum. Is he following his father's footsteps?
Possibility is. And the funniest thing, though, Conrad O'Brien, is that Adam Stewart is a close friend of the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And for him to come out swinging, for him to come out swinging against the administration of Michael Andrew Holness and of course Christopher Tufton. I'm being told that Christopher Tufton will be on a town hall meeting with Wayne Lonesome this evening. I'm trying to figure out if that is true. I haven't spoken to Wayne about it as yet, but that's what I'm being told, that Christopher Tufton, who is the Minister of Health, will be on Wayne Lonesome program. I'm being told if that is true. I'm yet to confirm it. But if Adam Stewart comes out swinging like that against the Andrew Holness administration about the health sector in our country, it is very serious. Very, very serious. And like how we have a hurricane threatening to us. I mean, you know, Conrad?
Indeed. Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Indeed, Jeffrey. A lot of things happen, but you know, we always want to give information. Also, last week, you know, the close of the week, something happened here in Jamaica that is alarming. We want to acknowledge it. The government has received additional new trucks in its fleet at the National Solid Waste Management Authority, now here by Audley Garden. And
I hold on there, Conrad. I wouldn't tell you what I said off here about those 50 new garbage trucks. I can't say it on here.
All right. Well. Keep it civil on here, Jeffrey. So I have not gotten the confirmation as yet, but certainly I know I'll get him. I'll get my good friend Audley Garden. He will be my spotlight guest tomorrow at 10:10. We'll be talking to him and New Start 93 FM straight up what this means for the people of Jamaica in terms of garbage collection and how will this help, especially at this time with the hurricane seasons bearing down on us. So tomorrow at 10:10, all things being equal, Audley Garden should be in the and spotlight with yours truly, Conrad O'Brien and New Start 93 FM. So I'm encouraging my listeners and your listeners here, Jeffrey, to join us. And I'm sure, Jeffrey, that you may be carrying it live on this platform.
Yes, I will try and do so. As of tomorrow, I have so many things to do next week. That's this Monday week.
If you can.
I'll try and do so.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Yes, so all the best, Jeffrey, and keep up the work. Always on top of things, my friends.
I will.
My friend.
I will. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I want to tell you all right now that the news that we're getting in, and I'm trying to get this video to download to that you can see that here we go. There is something going on here. I don't know what's going on, but taking a little while to download, but maybe I can get it on Facebook. But as we are saying here now, that opposition leader Mark Jefferson Golding, there is a press conference. Sorry, there's a press conference going on same way in Trinidad and Tobago. There was an NEC meeting of the People's National Party earlier on today with the opposition leader Mark Golding, and I think that's where he end up saying that he will hand in his UK citizenship. Let me see if I can get something here. We're not going to stay too long. I have to reach out to Wayne. Hold on for me. Let me see if I can get it up here. Hold on for me. Okay. I'm going to see if I can reach out to Wayne, the man in the wilderness, to confirm. Okay. Hold on for me. I think there is something that is coming up here. Okay. All right. There is something that is on the opposition leaders' Facebook page that I want everyone to see. And hold on for me. Okay, here we go. Let me go back to over here. Go here. Go to this. And in this one here. Yes. I think this is where it is. Okay. Bear with me, please. Bear with me, please. Bear with me. Okay, here we go now.
My situation is one where I've always regarded my status as being normal and not something that I should be concerned about. However, when the issue came out in the public domain, I did say that while my own view of the matter of dual citizenship is that we should be expanding rather than narrowing the scope of who can participate in our political process, even at the highest level, given the diaspora that we have as a reality, the Jamaican family being international, and we being so dependent on our Jamaican family for the sustenance and support of our economy and our society here. And we discussed some of those issues a while ago in the discussion on economic transformation. I also said that I had to be mindful of where the Jamaican people felt about this, and if it became apparent that the view was that leaders in the parliament, members of parliament, senators, or persons of holding high office should be exclusively Jamaican citizens, I would take that into account. And comrades, we have reached a point now where we have some data on the views of the public on this matter. And while I express my own views on the way we ought to be going as a country in relation to this issue, I do not want my status to be something which could hold the party back, impact the party negatively, or any of our candidates who are on the road to victory in difficult seats which we're looking to win, to have any kind of disadvantage because of my status. So as a result of that, I have decided to take that issue off the table by renouncing my
There you have it. Opposition leader Mark Jefferson Golding has just announced that he will be renouncing his U.S. citizenship. News just coming into us that Mark Jefferson Golding will be renouncing his U.S. citizenship. So, I wonder if everybody else in the parliament will take heed and do likewise. And also, bear in mind that come Tuesday, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mrs. Juliet Holness, should and must table the IG report. One moment. Good afternoon again, Conrad. Go ahead.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Yes.
Listen, the information as it unfolds and as you listen more and more, things has become even more clear. And English language is very important.
Hold on for me, Conrad. Hold on a minute. You're breaking up big time. I didn't hear what you said a while ago. Go ahead again.
Saying to you that as the thing unfolds, as we listen more and more information coming in, things has becoming clearer and has become clearer and clearer. And English language is very, very important. So the clip that you played just now, Jeffrey, very, very instructive. Mr. Golden did not say he was going to take step to renounce. He said he has renounced.
Oh.
Very, very important there. So therefore, Mr. Golden was basically gone ahead and did what he had to. Because the word did not, the information coming through to us, you can take back for your listeners. He did not say he was going to renounce. He said he had renounced his citizenship.
Yes.
Very, very instructive there, Jeffrey. So the party leader, the party president, the PNP party president and opposition leader, while the chattering was taking place, he was taking step to renounce, and he announced this afternoon at his NEC meeting. That is the highest decision body of the PNP outside of annual conference that took place in St. Thomas today.
That he has renounced his citizenship.
Renounced that he renounced. You could play it again, Jeffrey, if it's closer to your fingertip there, you could just repeat.
I will. Thank you very much again, Conrad. I will.
Play the tape. That simple point, simple but very important point, Jeffrey.
Thank you. I will play it back again.
Cool. Good, cool.
Yes, here we go.
So, my situation is one where I've always regarded my status as being normal and not something that I should be concerned about. However, when the issue came out in the public domain, I did say that while my own view of the matter of dual citizenship is that we should be expanding rather than narrowing the scope of who can participate in our political process, even at the highest level, given the diaspora that we have as a reality, the Jamaican family being international, and we've been so dependent on our Jamaican family for the sustenance and support of our economy and our society here. And we discussed some of those issues a while ago in the discussion on economic transformation. I also said that I had to be mindful of where the Jamaican people felt about this. And if it became apparent that the view was that leaders in the parliament, or members of parliament, senators, or persons of holding high office should be exclusively Jamaican citizens, I would take that into account. And comrades, we have reached a point now where we have some data on the views of the public on this matter. And what I express my own view is on the way we ought to be going as a country in relation to this issue. I do not want my status to be something which could hold the party back, impact the party negatively, or any of our candidates who are on the road to victory in difficult seats which we're looking to win, to have any kind of disadvantage because of my status. So as a result of that, I have decided to take that issue off the table by renouncing my
By renouncing my UK, sorry, I think I said United States, sorry, UK, is United Kingdom citizenship. So Mark Jefferson Golden has renounced his United Kingdom citizenship. He's no longer British mark, according to them. They've been calling him all sort of name. He's no longer a citizen of Great Britain. He is a full-fledged citizen of the land of wood and water. So there you have it. Mr. Golden has renounced his UK citizenship. We're going to go back over to what is going on. Before we go, we have to, because we're here to speak about the weather, you know, and we end up talking about what is going on in politics. So let me see something here. It is, hold on for me. Okay, there is another clipping out pertaining to the weather. Let's go back to this right here. Hold on, please. This need to go. Yes, let's go back to this one here now. Let us see what's going on in the weather here. If you're just joining us, this is the Make We Talk program. We're tracking Hurricane Beryl. It is now a Category 4 hurricane. Here we go.
So this morning and this afternoon, we've had hurricane hunters in Hurricane Beryl. And the discovery was that we had a storm that was a Category 4. It rapidly strengthened overnight last night and into this morning. Now we have winds of 130 miles per hour, making it a Category 4 with a central pressure of 960 millibars. This storm is continuing to move west rather quickly at 21 miles per hour, now only around 300 miles to the east-southeast of Barbados. This has been an impressive storm that has been breaking records. This is the earliest Atlantic Category 4 that we have seen on record. And believe it or not, with the 130 miles per hour Category 4 storm, this is the strongest June hurricane on record in the Atlantic. Also, the first major hurricane east of the Lesser Antilles, and the farthest east we've had a hurricane observed in the Atlantic in the month of June. Lots of records with Hurricane Bing. It is extremely impressive. We have witnessed the rapid intensification. One of the reasons we have this rapid intensification, because the storm developed a very well-defined core overnight last night. Now we have seen the eye clearing out. We have a well-defined eye wall with strong thunderstorms around it. You can see this in the infrared satellite. This is the 1-minute updated imagery, so you're getting a really good picture of what's going on. Very recently, we've actually seen more strong thunderstorms developing around the eye, building up. You see those peaks of black for just a little bit around this very clear eye. Reminder that the eye is relatively calm, while right around the eye, you have the eye wall. That is the core of the strongest winds in the hurricane. This is important because as this thing tracks to the north and west here, the west-northwest, the exact position of this core will determine which islands get the strongest winds. Let's take a look at this wind forecast. Because this is such a strong storm with winds of 130 miles per hour, and it is expected to remain a Category 4 hurricane as it approaches the islands, there's going to be an area of very significant, possibly catastrophic hurricane force wind impacts. This is the National Weather Service forecast, and you can see, or National Hurricane Center forecast, excuse me. When you see that red area, that is where we have hurricane force winds. Likely we will see possibly major hurricane force winds somewhere in there as well. The Grenadines and Grenada seem to be some of the focus areas for the strongest winds. Catastrophic hurricane force winds is one of the key points that the National Hurricane Center is advertising, depending on exactly where the center of the storm goes. A couple other things to note as the storm approaches the islands. We're expecting dangerous storm surge along with damaging waves. And of course, the highest risk is right around the core of the storm. So we will be watching as the storm wobbles towards the islands very closely. Right now, we have hurricane warnings that are in effect for some of the islands here. Once again, I think the highest concern, the Grenadines, St. Vincent, and Grenada.
Hold on for me. Sorry, hold on for me. Hold on for me. I have with me Miss Winnie out of Barbados, who is online with us. She's going to give us an update of what's going on in Barbados. Go ahead, Miss Winnie.
It's quite in. It's only a bit windy and the sun. It will be this afternoon about 6-7 o'clock. We will get it now. You know, this is the weather. They said it's going to kind of pass Barbados, but we are going to get the impact of the water, you know, and the wind and things like that. But it's not too bad at the moment. We remove everything that can fly when the wind comes. It's very windy. Very windy. But it's okay. Everyone so far.
Yes, and you right now, you're okay. You make sure you have enough water and so forth inside your house. So you're okay right now with all of that, eh?
We have and everything, dry stuff to eat and anything like that. Charging my phone and one thing or another. I am in St. James area, so mostly the people in Christchurch, St. Lucie, those kind of area will probably get impact before we in St. James and St. Michael.
Yes.
There's 11 parishes, so in certain parish would feel it worse than in the St. James area and the St. Michael area. Even though the sea is only about 15 minutes walk from where I'm living, you know, just hopefully that. It's okay so far, but everyone is praying hard that it pass. And we are, right now it's category 4.
Yes, it is.
And they predict it might go to category 5 when it leaves the rest of the other Caribbean island, but going to Jamaica and Cuba. So pray to God it die down, sir. Pray to God. Because I know when it hit Jamaica, it hit really bad. You know, I really don't know about the other Caribbean island. I only know about Barbados and Jamaica. You know, so and the funny thing, you know, in London many moons ago, over 30 years, we never expect a hurricane, never in this wildest dream. And in the night, the hurricane come and lick down a tree. What was 100 years? People died, some died. And it was very bad. When I wake up in the morning to go to work, I said, what happened? Everything fall down. And the hurricane can turn. That's what people do not understand. You might say it's coming to you, but suddenly that thing can turn just like a snake.
I remember.
You know, and we just have to.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
And, you know, we must remember, I am disappointed with our people in Jamaica. As I said, I do not know the other island except Barbados, which I love to bet. You know, they must stop throwing the fridge, the old bed, the things in the waterway. Because the water, when it remember, don't forget, it's like a memory tree. It remember, I run here. And if you block off the waterway, it's going to go somewhere else. They must stop it. They must stop that nastiness. It's not right. Oh, you're going to be in a country and you look, it's old fridge, buckles, everything. Where the water going to go when it cannot run? It got to find another route. And that's what and each is 14 parishes and they got councillors. They should make sure those waterways are always clear. Not when the storm come and the water is going into people's houses. You the same one crying the water going to your house because you end up dashing in the old things in the water where where it got to go. It shouldn't be like that. It should be cleared. And I'm disappointed because I am a Jamaican, a born-bred Jamaican, born in Spanish Town. And I tell you, you know, they got to stop this. We go to America, we go to UK, we go to other country. We don't do it. Why do we do it in our country that we born?
No, good question.
Why?
Good question.
Why do we?
Good question, but you know, Jamaicans have Jamaicans have a way of when they say that they can't get any help to dispose their garbage, they just throw it in the gully. You know, and it costs them when governments say they're gonna spend much billions or millions of dollars, you know. They believe it's government money, it's their own money, it's their own tax money that's being paid, that's being spent.
And that's it. What the government should do then is put in, say, It depends on how long the road is. Put 2 and 3 skips. And there should be a time.
Listen to me, Miss Minnie. Let me tell you something. Roots FM that I used to work with on Maho Drive down 3 Mile, there was a garbage skip there. And I literally watched people take the garbage and throw it somewhere else. And the skip is right there.
Well, I was in England and see that.
Hold on a minute. I literally watched the garbage skip full up. And it takes nearly a month for the garbage truck to come and dispose of the garbage. So 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other. The people not using the skip, when they do use it, the garbage truck not come for come dispose of it.
So where should they throw it beside it?
What they need to do
is... They should be...
No, what they need to do, and I apologize to nobody, is take up the garbage and go jump up on Jamaica House Lawn and King's House Lawn.
What they should do, though, is every 2 weeks, the truck should be able to say, I am coming into St. Mary, St. Mary Road, Spanish Town, and people should put out their garbage, the bed and the stuff. There should be some kind of...
I see we're in the Prime Minister and Minister Desmond McKenzie, so they get 50 more new garbage trucks. And let us see if those 50 new garbage trucks gonna do something to help the citizens of Jamaica. But I can tell you one thing. And I'm not taking it for anybody. What I saw with my 2 eyes on Maho Drive, near to Roots 96.1 FM, where the garbage bin was there, okay? And the people didn't want to throw it in. When they do throw it in there, it's full up.
So where should I put it at the time?
It's full up.
Yes, I can understand.
And then,
well, I tell you.
And hold on for me, darling. And then, the garbage truck took $1 million here to come for the sitting. Miss Williams, I saw how much money they spent to send the lawyers to London on the Vive cartel appeal case. I saw it. I soon talk about that, my dear. Go ahead, Miss Winnie. We're gonna cut the program now. It's all 5 o'clock in the United States, 4 o'clock in Jamaica. What time is it in your neck of the woods, Miss?
It's 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, yes. And the people of the Caribbean, please get ready. This thing is not going anywhere. It is coming. Miss Winnie, 2 minutes you have leave. Go ahead and speak.
But the new garbage truck is not going to go into the poor area to take up the rubbish. It's going to go into the upper class.
No.
To take up the rubbish.
No. It's going in there.
Well, let's see. Let's see, because I've got 6 people in Jamaica. It's giving me little information of what's going on. So let's see how it's going to work. Because I'm telling you.
Miss Winnie. What's your name again, ma'am? Sorry.
My name is Winnie Mead.
Yeah, Miss Winnie. Yes, sorry. Miss Winnie. Sometime our own family lie to you about things,
Not not my cousins. Okay. They will tell me bluntly. They're blunted. Them out don't have no covers just like me. So all I can say, we Jamaican, I don't live in Jamaica, but I go right now. I've got 2 sisters in Jamaica going on holiday, right? And they're staying in Ocherius, and they're gone on holiday. You understand? And they're kind of pleased with Ocherius in a way, but still yet there are certain things that they see. But all I can say to you, sir, we could, one time Jamaica, every country they call Jamaica.
Okay, hold on.
We was a proud race,
Miss Winnie, I have to go because there is a news update on Hurricane Beryl from a news organization in the United States, and I have this to give to the people. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for calling me, sir.
Yes, you're welcome, ma'am. That's Miss Winnie out of Barbados. I just called her to give us some update on what is going on. Yes, I realize she get information straight. Let us go over to this press conference here that is going on a TV station in the United States pertaining to Hurricane Beryl that is bearing down on us. You know, we the people of our country must really stand up. What is going on here? One moment for me, please. Here we go.
And summer is known for its hurricanes, but it's also peak lightning season. According to the National Lightning Safety Council, there have been 4 lightning strike deaths in the U.S. so far this year. Fox Weather's Jay Manar and Nick Koser broke it down earlier today with Chris Vagaski. He is the lightning data and safety specialist for National Lightning Safety Council.
Okay, apparently the news conference has ended. So we're not going to go to that because their conference has ended. And there is no other news coming over to us out of Trinidad and Tobago or Barbados. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut away. Oh, hold on for me. Apparently there's something else coming into us. Hold on. There is something else coming into us. I think I just saw something a while ago. Hold on. Here we go. Yes, there it is. Okay, hold on for me. Okay, you can see there is something on our screen there. We're not going to get, there's no audio coming into us about that, but they're just showing us what is going on with the hurricane. We definitely need to take heed with this one. Definitely need to take heed with this one. I'm going to say goodbye for now. Oh Lord, why am I dark? Why nobody can see me? Here we go. I'm definitely going to say goodbye for now. If there's any more news that anyone need to hear, and I have it, I will definitely bring it to you. So until you hear my voice again, until you hear me speak again on this platform here, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Like up the channel, share the channel, subscribe to the channels. Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares LLC. That's on YouTube. If you Google it, you'll still get it that same way like that. I want to say thank you all for being a part of this program today. Thank you all for coming on. May God bless you. And may God bless our island home of Jamaica. And indeed, let us continue to pray for brothers and sisters in the Eastern Caribbean. May God bless you. May God bless Jamaica land we love. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Goodbye.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.